What do you think about bee pollen? Should we try to make that part of our diet? Should sugar sensitive people avoid it?
Great question about bee pollen. I'm a beekeeper too. I love keeping bees, and I've been producing honey for many years, about 16 years actually. And that's another one that's a quasi animal, right? It's a quasi animal food, and it's something that I'm okay with because I know my bees. I mean, they overproduce honey. When you get to the hives and the whole hive is smelling like honey, you're like, oh, there's too much honey in the hive. This is when a bear will come around. By the way, now we produce this honey in Hawaii, so we don't have bears, so we're good on that side of things. But this is what happens in normal hives: is eventually they overproduce. Then a bear goes, hey, well, I'm smelling that. What's going on over there? And they'll go in and get some. Honey and bee pollen and propolis are the products of the hive. They are some of the most important, I think, insect derived nutrients. As strange as it sounds, over the years, I found out you actually need something from every kingdom. You need something from the mushroom kingdom. You need something from the animal kingdom. You need something from the plant kingdom, mostly plants. But you also need something from the insect kingdom. This is just the natural. We're human beings. We need things from the mineral kingdom. I mean, this magnesium is a mineral chelate, right? It's magnesium chelate, magnesium biglycinate, magnesium aspartate, magnesium malate, magnesium orotate, magnesium taurate, magnesium citrate. It's all of those, to get the magnesium to get in, which is really mineral in origin. So we're an alchemical being. That's one of the things I've learned over the years, is that some of my diet idealisms just went out the window. There's something to be said for a human being sourcing some of their food from the insect kingdom. I don't want to eat bugs. I'm not going to eat crickets. I like crickets. I don't want to eat them. Plus, I think it's gross. But I'm cool with getting honey, and I'm cool with bee pollen. Bee pollen's not even really an animal thing. It's just they went and got pollen, and as they're coming through, you put basically a little mesh screen, and they come through and it knocks some of the pollen off into a tray, and you collect it that way. And so it's really flower pollen would be a better name for it. But propolis definitely is a bee product. Mixing all three of those together is a deep love. I love mixing all three of those together, where you mix the honey, the propolis, and the bee pollen together in a big mash and eat that. Is that going to be too much sugar? Generally, the only thing you're going to have as a problem with pollens is that they're pollens. You could be allergic to it. So sometimes if you eat a lot of pollens, which I've done before, and all of a sudden your stomach goes, oh, wait, it's too much all at once. Wait, hold on. Of course, if there's honey in there, then your blood sugar could be spiked. But if you do it all together, the propolis, the pollen, and the honey together, it's really something. Or even sometimes the royal jelly, which is the food for the queen bee. If you can do that in a healthy way and get a good quality royal jelly and do all four of those together, it's quite a superfood combo. I think it's one of the great superfood combos of all.
How do you get rid of Candida?
Best way to get rid of Candida is the same way you get rid of every parasite. You've got to take things that are herbs that are anti-parasitic. And one of the best things actually in the mineral kingdom is what I'm actually having here, which is silver. Silver is very good against Candida and yeast overgrowth. So this is a good kind of prophylactic against Candida, keep the Candida down in your system. Candida is natural, right? All of these things, even coronaviruses, they're natural, and flu viruses, they're natural. We got to keep them all in check. That's the whole key of all health and all health science, keeping everything in check. And when something gets out of balance, like yeast, that's telling us something's out of balance in our diet. Something's out of balance in our lifestyle. We're having too much sugar. So I would recommend something like this, like 1 drop a day, not too much, because when somebody's disturbed with Candida, they may have other issues going on as well. There might be a disturbance in their whole microbiome. That's the fancy word that we use for the collection of friendly bacteria that lives on our gut and on all the surfaces of all our cells, on our body outside, and also in through our mouth and all the way through our gut. Now I'm going to say one more thing on that, on the herbs. There's really 3 herbs that I like to talk about in relationship to Candida. One of them is horsetail, which is a personal favorite. Absolutely love horsetail. It's one of my favorite things of all time. Another one is reishi mushroom. And people go, wait a second, it's a mushroom. You can't have reishi mushroom. It's going to feed Candida. Reishi is like the queen of all mushrooms and all yeasts, and it's all the way at the top. So the chemistry of reishi is absolutely anti-Candida because it has to fight off the Candida too, as good as anything. So reishi has a very strong anti-Candida property, and I like taking the bitter reishi products for that purpose. So if you are tasting like a reishi product, let's say a tincture of some type, and it's bitter, good. You want something bitter. You want something that's going to fight that Candida. So horsetail, which is an herb, equisetum is the genus of that herb, just in case somebody wants to look that up. Equisetum. And then reishi mushroom. And then the third one is a personal favorite. It's a tree I grow. I brought it back from the Amazon. I'm in love with this tree. It's the bark of the tree that's used. You can literally walk up to this tree and just bite into it. It's crazy. And it tastes pretty good. And that's pau d'arco, or they call it in South America, they call it lapacho. And that's something else. I just love pau d'arco because it's delicious, but it's super anti-Candida. It's sweet. It's sweet. So if you're really going, I need something, I've got to deal with Candida, what am I going to do? Pau d'arco tea is your answer. The Shipibo tea, the traditional Amazonian tea, is pau d'arco on one hand and cat's claw, uña de gato, on the other. That combination is a wonderful combination and a recommended one, and good for Candida too. So those are my recommendations there.